Hello everybody, I'm Loweroda and today I want to play a bit the new Contingency Contract Season 3 Cinder. So once again the CCs are here and I played them again. I did a Res 18 relatively fast this time around. I don't know, apparently I had a good strategy from the get-go and I just want to showcase what kind of strategy I did. I also did it for the last CC and you can find a link on top for this. And just to quickly summarize what that is, every day you will get a different stage that you can play and you can add certain modifications on top to make the stage harder. Like certain operators like casters cost double, certain enemies have more HP or attack, and you can mix and match those modifiers as you want and they will increase your risk and you get more rewards the higher your risk. And also there's the permanent stage, which is a very hard stage and you can go up to a very high risk here. And this time around we're playing the permanent stage, and if you manage to finish that in the first week you'll get a special medal. So I hope that my video will help you guys to finish it in the first week. I also added my operators that I use to my support list, so if you add me you can use my operators to help you out a bit on the stage. So let's jump into the stage, and first let's go into the pre-planning and see what kind of modificators I used and what kind of squad I used and what my reasoning behind those characters was. So let's go through them one by one so you can see what I did and why I did it. First off, all sarkaz grudge bearers gain plus 60% HP, plus 50% ATK and ignore 40% of the target's resistance. I do have a strategy how to deal the grudge bearers, but I would say those are the most dangerous enemies on the field. And that was the one modification where I played a bit around, tried to not take it at all and tried to take something else, but I figured out a way to deal with this so it stays in. Second, sarkaz blade weavers have plus 50% HP, plus 50 attack speed, plus 50% defense, plus 30% movement speed, and are only standby for 100 seconds. I do manage to get rid of the blade weavers pretty easily. I have a strong defense for those, so I was not very worried about those. All sarkaz sentient leaders have plus 30% movement speed, and the strength of the buff they grant when warning allies is increased to 100% ATK and defense. This was a no-brainer for me because my whole strategy is to play around those leaders. I will not attack them until everything is dead. Like, those will be the last enemies that I kill, so I don't care about their increased in stats. All friendly units have minus 20% ATK and minus 20 attack speed, and also all friendly units have minus 15% HP. My operators are pretty strong, so I felt confident that I can do this. However, the minus 20% ATK actually hurt me a bit and I needed to adjust a bit my strategy. That's also why I needed to bring in one more operator that I didn't have in the previous or in my initial attempts for this. The max squad size is reduced to 10 operators, which was no problem for me because in my first playthrough I did it with 11 and I didn't really need the 11s, it was just a nice to have, so I was pretty confident that I can do it with 10. 10 tiles on the map will no longer allow units to be deployed upon. I only use one of these fields, so this was also a very no-brainer for me to bring in. 4 original jet streams will have their locations and directions changed. When you see my deployment for the jet streams, you see that I do them pretty weirdly. So this was also one of those modificators that didn't really change my strategy at all and was great for one more risk point. All enemies gain plus 150 defense. It goes hand in hand with minus attack on my side. It is annoying, but I could deal with it. Max HP seals are reduced to 1, which is kind of no-brainer. And the peak cost of specialist operators is tripled and the redeployment time is increased by 50%. I never used specialists actually. I was thinking about this, but I had a different strategy in mind that I wanted to do, so also a no-brainer. Okay, now let's jump into my squad and let's quickly see what I bring to the map. So the first thing that stands out for most of people I would say is I bring 3 medics in. And I actually, when I started planning my strategy, I had a 4th one. I have Nightingale, Shining and Plopsis. And I actually had Neil in as well before. Because my issue was actually not really dealing the damage. I was pretty confident that Chen, Skadi and Silver Ash can deal the damage that I need. But the problem was that they just died. so I needed more healing. Nightingale and Shining were in from the start, and Pelopsis was this one extra healer that I needed to keep my defense line alive. Siege and Bagpipe will deal with the initial onslaught and give me the DP that I need, and Hashiguma will block a lot of those runners that are very annoying but can be dealt with. However, this whole strategy that I did in the end would have never worked without Sword. She was a must-have for this strategy that I'm using, and huge shout out to Balmung, to one of my friends on Arknights, who had a sword ready for me with the right skill and the right level to take with me. Like I said, the whole strategy would have fallen apart without her. My strategy is basically I will bunker up 2 lanes, one lane with Hashiguma and the other lane with Chen, and Skardi and Sword are my assassins. They will always drop together and they will always kill something. So they're not there all the time, but rather drop in, kill, drop out, which is usually the task of a specialist. But I feel like in this stage, especially given that you have Grudge Bearers and Blade Weavers, Skardi and Sword are doing a better job at this, because they can actually kill something. Specialists usually can't kill, they can only pull, which is also a nice strategy, but not what I wanted for this one. So after a lot of explanation, I think it's time for you to see the stage and my attempt, and I will explain what I'm doing, obviously, and I hope you enjoy that and you see what my thinking behind all of this was. Okay, as mentioned, Bagpipe and Siege will be my first operators. Bagpipe will go on to the left, look to the left, and Siege will go to the right and also look to the left. Obviously the idea is that they should be deployed with the jet stream, because I want the increase in ATK. As soon as the first enemy hit, I will activate the skill on Bagpipe to actually deal damage and kill them. Once her skill ends, I will throw Hashiguma in front of her and let her also look to the left. That is very important, otherwise Hashiguma will deal damage to one of the leaders later on. Then Chen will go to the right side and also look to the left, for the same reason as Hashiguma is looking to the left. Both will get the ATK increase, which is great, and both will not target anybody who's not on their field. I activate the skill on Hashiguma, and then as soon as this leader is passed by, I will drop Sword at the top right and Skadi right next to her. I'll take Skadi away before she dies, and the strategy here is Sword on her own would have killed both of them, but the second one would have just left because Sword only blocks one. So Skadi is the second blocker in this scenario. And she will take care of one of the Grudge Bearer and one Blade Weaver. In the meantime, I deployed Nightingale on the left side and Shining in the bottom, and I replaced Bagpipe with Silver Ash. As soon as this Blade Weaver comes to Chen, I activate her skill 3 and she just melts him. So both sides are now actually looking strong, and I try to get always 1 or 2 of the Grudge Bearer or Blade Weavers to my line. As soon as this Grudge Bearer goes out on the bottom right and comes back in on the bottom left, I activate the skill on Silver Ash and on Hashiguma. And I do the same strategy again. Sword top right, Skadi right next to her. I throw down a cage from Nightingale just to draw a bit of the attention from the Grudge Bearer away from my defense line and let him focus my cage. It just helps dealing with the damage. As soon as this one Grudge Bearer passes the line, I drop Pelopsis. She would have died from the Grudge Bearer's damage, so I needed to wait before actually bringing her out. Because now 3 Blade Weavers are coming towards Chen, and I need the healing to survive them. As soon as this leader that's currently patrolling in front of Chen leaves, I throw down Bagpipe on her and let her look up. Then I activate the skill again on Chen to deal major damage to them, and activate the skill on Pelopsis to get the healing out. Now the right line has 1 Blade Weaver each, Siege, Chen and Bagpipe, and with the help of Pelopsis and Shining they can survive. In the meantime, a lot of enemies are piling up in front of Hashiguma, but with the help of Nightingale she can easily survive that. Since she's looking to the left, her spinning shield will not hit any of the leaders. Once again, that's the main part of my plan here. I don't want to hit them. Chen, Siege and Bagpipe managed to get rid of 2 already, and now there's only 1 left. I throw down Skadi just to pull this last Grudgebearer, because otherwise his timing would be horrible with the leaders that are currently patrolling. Since the last Blade Weaver is gone, I take Bagpipe away so she will not hit the Grudgebearer, the leader, and I throw down Skadi in the bottom left to take care of the last Grudgebearer. As soon as the leader goes away from Hashiguma, I activate the skill on Silver Ash, who also looked to the left, which was very important, so he will not hit the leader. Now the last leader actually does attack, or is attacked by Chen, but there's only 1 Juggernaut left on the left side and he will easily fall. And now I just have to clean up those last leaders who have nothing to do and will just fall to anybody here. So the whole strategy was play around the leaders and you're fine. And it worked for me very well. But without the 3 medics, no chance. And without sword, definitely no chance. This is now a bit boring, but well, for risk 18, I'll take the boringness. And just to make it nice, I throw down sword and burn down the last leader. And that's it. I think the CC stages are probably my favorite feature right now in Arknights or event. The possibilities that you can do are just amazing. There are tons of different strategies you can do. You can adjust the difficulty to the operators that you have available, and since you're not limited to your own but you are allowed to take supporters, you can even be grander in your strategies. I would love to do for every day a video on the daily stages, but let's face it, that wouldn't work, right? So I'll just go with a permanent stage here. Maybe I go for a higher risk as well, I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. If you do need help with this, or if you want to have more info on this, feel free to reach out to me. You can follow me on Twitter and write me there. Subscribe to this channel, write a comment, and I'll be sure to answer. You can also add me in the game, and if you need an operator, just tell me. I set them up for you so you can use them. And I hope you managed to finish the stage in the first week to get this nice platinum medal for it, because it's just prestige that we all want, right? And also, I'll start a poll probably on Twitter soon for who to use my 4 Royal Guard tokens on, because I'm not really sure right now. So also make sure to follow me there, join the poll and help me figure out who I want to upgrade. And until then, I see you next time, Doctors.